Morning, everyone. We're so sorry. There's the connection issue with our first speaker. So just bear with us. We'll give her another 5 minutes. Inshallah, she couldn't join the link, so we're gonna fix the issue with her just for a bit. Thank you.
Established in 2004, Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, mostly known as CREAM, is a subsidiary of Construction Industry Development Board, or CIDB, that holds the responsibility over all matters related to the planning, implementation, and management of the research and development projects and related activities. With its mission to make CREAM globally recognized as the leading institute for research and development (R&D), and its vision to meet the strategic needs of R&D in the Malaysian construction industry, CREAM is committed to fulfilling its 5 objectives, that is, to fund, manage, and execute research activities and programs, offer tests and laboratory facilities for heavy structure engineering and building materials that focus on IBS structures and components, establish R&D cooperation with stakeholders in the domestic and overseas construction industry, earn funds and offer ventures for R&D activities and programs, and distribute the latest technology and R&D products to the national construction industry players through promotion, patent, and commercialization. CREAM serves as a key center that provides 3 main functions, namely research and development, testing of building materials and technical services, and assessment and certification. CREAM's main focus is the R&D program, which covers various fields. Its objective is to provide benefits to the progress of the nation's construction industry. The research themes cover 5 priority areas. They are the structural and material engineering, innovation and digitization technology, asset and facility management, environmental sustainability, productivity. Quality of service has always been CREAM's core value. This is to ensure that the Malaysian construction industry's strategic R&D needs are met. CREAM also provides testing services for material and building structure samples at its laboratory, Makmal Kereta Raya Malaysia, or MKRM. The purpose of this testing service is to assess quality and safety, as well as to improve materials and construction samples to meet the standards set. CREAM also offers services and other technical aspects such as inspection and sampling of imported building materials entering the country's ports. CREAM will conduct forensic investigations on construction sites in the event of failures or accidents. CREAM is pleased to announce that the MKRM has been expanded to Sabah and Sarawak, and that it is now ready to assist industry players in Borneo with construction material and structural testing in accordance with CIDB Act 520. CREAM Certification Services, CCS, provides construction certification services primarily for building materials listed in the CIDB Act 520. CCS performs an audit on the materials used in the production of product certification to ensure that the materials listed in Act 520 meet the standards. CCS has gained recognition from the Malaysian Standards Department in August 2018. In 2021, CREAM was recognized as a Construction Assessment Center by CIDB. This recognition has enabled CREAM to evaluate and rate construction projects. The evaluation covers 4 areas: quality, QLASIC; safety, chassis; green building, MICRES; infrastructure, sustainable Infrastar. CREAM is also responsible to carry out Certificate of Approval (COA), which is a certificate issued by CIDB to ensure that all imported construction products must meet the specified requirements of Malaysian Standard MS and other approved international standards. The issuance of the COA is in accordance with the Custom Act 235, 1967, Prohibition on Import, Amendment Number 2, Order 2014, to ensure the quality of imported construction products. To better serve the stakeholders in the national construction industry, CREAM established the Construction Industry Consulting Division, which focuses on industry networking and collaboration, as well as consulting services. The division aims to serve as a reference center and innovation hub for the Southeast Asian construction industry, ensuring economic and social responsibility in construction. CREAM is focused to be a leading-edge research institute for technology innovations in the construction industry, to act as a one-stop center for product inspection, testing, and certification services, to elevate safety, health, environment, and quality of the construction industry, to build partnerships with the industry stakeholders and researchers while exploring and encouraging the development of a knowledge-based industry.
Sorry, yeah, there's. Can everyone see me though? Is my camera on? Okay. Okay, great. Okay, thank you. All right. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. Salam Ramadan and selamat berpuasa to our speakers and also our Muslim participants. Welcome to CREAM Webinar Series 2023. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us. My name is Intan Diana and I'll be your MC and moderator for today's webinar. CREAM Webinar Series 2023 is a program organized by Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, CREAM, and it is a part of our efforts to initiate conversations on issues, challenges, opportunities, and initiatives for the construction industry and beyond. The theme for this month's webinar is Setting the Path Towards Construction Productivity Excellence, and today we'll be talking about the government initiatives in enhancing productivity in the construction industry. So we have two very experienced speakers in construction productivity from CIDB Malaysia and also manager from CREAM. So before I introduce our first speaker for today, just a little housekeeping. If you have any questions during the presentation, please drop your questions into the chat box and I will bring them up during the Q&A session at the end of the second presentation. Okay, so now without further ado, I would like to invite our first speaker, Technologist Shireen Ghazali. She is currently working with CIDB under the Technology and Innovation Division as a senior manager handling various tasks of construction management, strategizing and engaging stakeholders mainly in the construction sector. She holds a degree in architecture from International Islamic University of Malaysia and a double master degree in facility and maintenance management from University of Malaya and another master degree of technology and innovation management from Malaysia Japan Institute of Technology, UTM. She has served CIDB within various divisions for more than 14 years. She is experienced in strategizing and managing organizational performance management framework, construction industry, transformational program initiatives, corporate governance, human resource, and operational initiatives. Among her biggest achievements are the formation of Construction Industry Payments and Adjudication Act, Act 746, the establishment of two specialist construction courts located in Kuala Lumpur and Shah Alam High Court, the published Construction Law Report, CLR, and involvement in various construction industry standards and international standards development for the construction industry. And something really interesting about her is she also own a boutique enterprise business in interior designing and construction management. She has been working also as a designer for spaces for about 10 years and has a vast experience in designing the interior and exterior of residential and commercial suites. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Technology Sharing Ghazali.
Thank you so much, Ms. Intan, for the brief introduction about myself. So let me share first my presentation slide. Hold on, yeah.
Okay, good. Sharing? Okay, all right.
Okay, all right. So everyone can see my slides, right?
At that one, we are seeing your screen, your browser.
Oh,
Mm.
hold on, yeah.
Mm.
What about now?
Okay. Yes, yes, we can see it now. Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay. My title for presentation today given to me is actually the government initiative in enhancing the productivity in the construction sector. So I'll try my best to share with you guys on the initiative that the government has taken in order to increase the productivity in the construction sector. All right, just to check, is my slide moving?
Yep. Perfect.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So I'll go through my presentation flow. So I actually divided the presentation into six major parts, which is the first one, of course, I will talk about CIDB, and then we go to know the current state of construction sector, which is I'll be showing some statistics. And the third part will be I'll be talking about productivity in the construction sector in brief, and then what is the productivity governance and all the programs and initiative that has been undertaken by the government, and what is our way forward. So first we start with the introduction of CIDB Malaysia. I think everyone should know what is CIDB, but the main five key things that you need to know is actually CIDB has been established in 1995 under the Act of 520. And CIDB is also a statutory body under the Ministry of Works, or KKR, and we are self-financing and of course driven by the private sector, right? So CIDB has the mission to actually regulate, develop and facilitate the construction industry by inculcating professionalism in delivering quality, productivity and also sustainable built environment, and with the vision to be an esteemed organization that delivers construction excellence in Malaysia. And we were still hit by our board of directors, and recently appointed reappointed chairman, which is Yang Berhormat Insinyur Haji Yusof bin Haji Abdul Wahab, which is our chairman, and supported by 5 major rep from the private sectors and 3 others from the public sectors. So basically, under the Act of 520, we have 14 functions to be carried out, and I have clustered all the 14 functions into three houses. So the first one will be under the advisory, and then the second one, regulatories, and the third one will be the development. So what actually comprises in advisory is actually that we manage complaint and also report made in respect of any failure of the construction work on site, and we also promote and stimulate the development, improvement and also expansion of the construction industry, and we provide consulting and also advisory services to the stakeholders. And the last part under advisory is actually we advise and do and also make recommendation to the federal and also state governments. And when we talk about regulatories, of course, we regulate the registration and also accreditation of personal contractors, inclusive of the contractors. And we also regulate compliance with standards and construction works and also building materials. And latest that has been added in somewhere in 2021, that we also regulate the implementation of IBS, or industrial building system, in the construction industry, and we do regulate the implementation and of quality and also safe construction work. And we move on to development. We actually establish, develop, review and also coordinate training and of construction personnel and also contractors. And we also provide and maintain industrial information system for construction. This is inclusive of all the analysis, data, statistics regarding to the construction industry. And then we aggressively promote technology and also developing and conducting research under this sector. And we also promote quality assurance. And the last part, we also assist in helping the contractors to export, contractors and consultants to actually export their services, right? So beside the act of the function under the Act of 520, we also do have few policies that we are looking into, which is in line with the national policies of the 5-year plan, 5-year Malaysia plan, or RMK. And we do make reference to the National Construction Policy, NCP 2030, and Wawasan Kemakmuran Bersama, WKB 2030, to make the construction industry more productive and competitive. And latest, I think it should be added in, is the Malaysia Madani, right? So this is the statistics, and it is as of March 2023. So we talk about the Malaysia construction GDP, where we can see that improvement over the year after COVID, of course, and it is expected to be like 13.5 million by the end of this year quarter. And then from the prediction, it will continue to rise to 15.02 million in 2024 and 15.7 million in 2025. And then if we focus down to the construction GDP itself, and we notice that the value of work done in construction sector continued to increase by 15.7% in the fourth quarter of last year, 2022, after growing strongly by 23.2% in the third quarter of last year. And the growth momentum for the fourth quarter of 2022 was driven by a double-digit growth, which is headed by the civil engineering subsector, and then followed by the non-residential buildings and also special trade activities. So from here we can see that increasing in the productivity will actually leverage the development of the country's GDP, and it also serve as a control measure for quality and also cost for the businesses. And looking at the project awarded according to the sector, we can see that for last year alone, we have the total number of project awarded. The value of the project is like 140.5 billion, with a total number of 12,474 projects. And it is actually increasing if you compare to the previous years. And most of the projects are dominated by the private sectors. If you can see, the private sectors are in blue. So most of them are actually from the private sectors. And I think we move on. And if you categorize it by state, the highest state that holds the value of project and also the numbers of project will be Selangor, which 2,814 project, and then followed by Johor, 1,670 projects, and Kuala Lumpur, 1,494 projects. And then if you can see at the graph above here, all the projects are actually headed by the non-residential, and then followed by the infrastructure project in terms of value of project. All right, just to show the 10 highest value project awarded, if you can see on the screen. So the highest value will be 0.67 billion. This is for last year. This 0.67 billion is actually for project Reka Vina Civil Structural System and also Architectural System expansion for Sarawak. And then the lowest among the top is actually the Pembinaan Kompleks Mahkamah in Johor, which cost around 0.19 billion. And then we do keep and also upkeep the record of the registered contractors under our statistic, and up to date that we have 127,784 contractors registered with CIDB, and it is dominated by the grade 1 contractors, and then followed by the G2 contractors, grade 2, and also the G3 contractors. So if you can see from this graph, we have a big amount of I think contractor at the medium and low level. All right, and then we do have foreign contractor out of this statistic, which is amounted for like 1,223 numbers of contractors. And we do register the construction personnel. So today we have 663,522 personnel. And out of this statistic, the construction personnel actually hold around 86% locally, and we have foreign personnel, which is 12%. And then out of this number, the skilled worker is amounted to 55%. Out of the 663,522 personnel, and then followed by the general workers 0.9%, and supervisory 14%, and the last one, the administrative, is 18%. And this is the statistic on the international project awarded to local contractors. If you can see in 2021, with the value of 23.1 billion and 17 projects, it has actually decreased for last year, which we only managed to award international project to local contractor for 9 projects, which is amounted for 20.7 billion. And for this year, up to March, we still don't have any data on this. All right. So this is the main topic for my presentation. So let's see. All right. And okay, when we talk about productivity, it's actually a game changer in moving Malaysia towards a developed economy. So what we need to understand out of the productivity or increasing the productivity in the construction sector is actually um, as one of the main driver in Malaysia economic development, productivity actually describe how an economy optimizes the use of existing resources such as materials, machineries, labours and also capital. And the competitiveness resulted from high level of productivity will actually lead to higher quality output. So meaning to say that the construction industry is one of the industry listed as a major contributor to the country economic development. It can still be seen that the construction sector recorded the lowest level of productivity at actually Malaysia ringgit 43,882 to compare to other sectors. And we did a survey. This is another part of survey that is contributing to productivity, which is on the implementation of construction 4.0. And this is actually a study done by CIDB with the help of CREAM to actually identify the level and also the adaptation and also gaps on why or how the industry players look and see on the technological aspect in their businesses. All right. So from that survey, which is actually contributed by 1,000 numbers of respondents, we do see here the level of understanding and also the adoption level and compatibility level is very low among the construction players. So if you can see on my slides now, if all in the box that which has been highlighted, that this is among the top emerging or disruptive technology that has been used in the industry currently. So mainly it is all about the IoT, the advanced building material, cloud and real-time collaboration, prefabrication and so modular construction, and of course the BIM. So anyhow, we can see that the percentage is still low. Is actually below 30% for all the technology advances that we have actually do the survey for. Yeah. Okay. And when you talk about productivity, that's why I highlighted before is on the machineries or tools that has been used by the construction industry. Now I'm talking about the labor. Okay, so these two aspects is very important in increasing or leveraging the productivity in the construction industry. But somehow here you can see that due to our high dependency on labor, we do contribute a quite high number of productivity in if you compare to other sectors after COVID. So this is actually a good sign. Yeah. And if you strip down to the construction labor productivity in Malaysia, you can see that there's a drop actually from 2021 to 2022. If you can recall that the construction industry is actually having some hiccup with the foreign labor intakes. Meanwhile, somewhere in 2022, that's why it contributes to the decrease of the percentage for the productivity in labor. Okay, but somehow the labor productivity as measured by a value added per employment actually sustain a double-digit growth of 10%, with marginal increase in employment at 0.02%. And this value added per hour work for this sector was actually RM 16 ringgit and 80 cent, while the value added per employment was RM 9,992. And if you compare the development of labour productivity by country, you can see that Malaysia contributes quite a number of productivity percentage here. If to compare to UK and also Singapore, which is 13.6%, and UK is 25.5%, and Singapore is 16.7%. So this is also a good sign, yeah, for the industry. All right. Of course, anything that we do, any things that we spearhead is actually will come with an issue and so challenges. So same goes to the productivity. All right. So I have actually highlighted the 6 main challenges, which is actually taken from the Economic Outlook 2022, and also the feedback from the engagement session with the industry players done by the MPC. There are 6 major challenges that we need to actually handle or take up. Yeah. So the first one is actually the high dependency on the foreign worker. The next one will be the poor planning of optimizing own resources, yeah, for business resources. And then we have low technology adoption. And number 4 is the type of contractor grade which is not in line with the investment. And then number 5 is types of construction contract that has been used by the client and contractor, and also the insufficient advanced building material development currently in Malaysia. So somehow the government have actually taken several measures in order to uplift the productivity in the sector. So from there we can see that they have actually put in place certain policies with correct governance in time. So I will just share with you guys the governance under the productivity. All right. There are actually 4 main policies directly actually lead us to actually assist the construction industry to uplift the productivity. And of course, we are talking about the 12 Malaysia Plan, the Malaysia Productivity Blueprint, the Wawasan Kemakmuran Bersama 2030, and the C 4.0. And these 4 major documents actually have the same goal, to increase the productivity, and also that can actually contribute to well economic for the country. All right. And this is the governance structure under the Malaysia Productivity Blueprint, which is headed by the National Productivity Council and chaired by the Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri. Our PM is himself, and it is supported by National Oversight Productivity Committee, and this NOPC is chaired by the Yang Berhormat Senior Minister of MITI. And the delivery, and supported by the Delivery Management Office, which is the MPC and also MITI, and they have to report to the Advisory and Policy Support Committee, which is the EPU and also the PMD. And under these 3 committees, there are separated into 2 cluster again, which is the first one, they call it as productivity nexus, which is the sectors that involve in this initiative. And under this we have 11 sectors, and construction and also logistics is one of the nexus, yeah, under this productivity nexus. And then the MPC is actually the role of MPC is to bridge within the productivity nexus and also the strategic partnership intermediaries, which is like for now the listing is actually from SIRIN, Steinbeis Malaysia Foundation, the PPRN, and also the Platform Ventures. And under the construction nexus, we call it as COBEP and the construction built environment productivity nexus. They have also established a committee which is championed by the Yang Bahagia Datuk Seri Dr. Michael Yam Kong Choi and supported by 8 major associations in the construction sectors, and also supported by the main ministries in the public sectors. Okay. When we talk about the RMK12 or the 12 Malaysia Plan, it has actually set out several priorities and also strategies. The first one is actually to increase research, development, commercialization, and also innovation in new technology. And then it also aim to increase the access to funding in support of an innovation and also skill developments, and they want to encourage the use of IBS, including technology adaptation to support the productivity improvement, and then of course to strengthen planning and evaluation and also monitoring of each initiative that has been done by the government by creating a mechanism and also develop more affordable home in strategic location. And this RMK12 has been set to actually achieve the goal to increase the growth for the construction sector by 4.2% this year, driven by the civil engineering and also residential building subsector. And it is also to reduce the dependency on low skilled foreign worker, and it is expected to actually increase wages and improve the living standard of local skilled worker. And of course, as has been prioritized under the RMK12, it is actually to encourage the use of IBS and BIM, as well as any latest emerging technologies in the construction project, including more effective project and also financial management. And it is aimed to increase the productivity growth by 3.8% by 2025 if to compare to last year, which is 3.4%. And the last aim is actually to build 500,000 affordable houses by the end of 2025. These affordable houses inclusive of Rumah Mesra Rakyat, regional residency, and also people housing program. So the issue is that most of the industry is still in the low added value category with a low level of technology use that can be improved. For this reason, the government has embarked on another policy, which is the Wawasan Kemakmuran Bersama 2030, with the 4 strategic thrusts. It's actually to enhance the business and industry ecosystem, to set the key economic growth activities, to look into the human capital and also labour market and workers' compensation. So this under this Wawasan Kemakmuran Bersama 2030, we have the goal to actually establish at least 20% of Bumiputra SMEs in each subsector that uses high technology tools, and then to increase the contribution of high-tech subsectors to related sector, for example, the manufacturing to 50%, also services to 30%, and to increase up to 35% of highly skilled worker in employment, and to increase the growth of labour productivity in line with the quality of technology in the industry by the sector. And the next supporting document will be the Construction 4.0 Strategic Plan, which has been launched by the Ministry of Work somewhere in 2021. And it is aimed to help the construction industry to change along with the rapid development of technology and also the smarter system. And we have the vision to become a leading country in the implementation of C 4.0 in the Southeast Asia region, and also transforming the Malaysia construction industry by empowering smart construction for the society of the future. And under this document, we have actually set out or identified 12 main emerging technologies that is also known as disruptive technology, which includes the prefabrication or IBS, and also the BIM, right? And above all that, we have CIDB also have our organizational strategic plan, so to make sure that everything is in line with the aspiration of the government. So it in this document, it has actually outlined the direction, also initiative of CIDB as a leader in the construction industry for within the 5 years of its implementation, starting from 2021 to 2025. And this CIDB strategic plan, or CSP, is actually supported by 4 main pillars, which is the innovation, solution delivery, relationship management, and also leadership. And I think it is also open to public. You can actually download this document to know more about the CSP, from our official website. Okay, next is on the programs and also initiative that has been undertaken by the government. So looking under the construction and built environment nexus, there are currently 4 initiatives that has been done somewhere in 2022 until now to date, which is 4 program. The first one is actually the construction and built environment digital roadmap, with the objective to actually serve as a reference for the sector to ensure the business players move towards high technology companies, and later on to improve the productivity of the sector. There are 22 currently, 22 digital roadmaps were developed based on the construction and built environment activities, and these roadmaps can also be accessed through the MPC website, right? And then currently that we have the productivity step up program for the contractors, with the objective to increase the level of productivity within the construction firms through the adoption of technology. When we talk about adoption of technologies, this initiative actually aim for the SMEs contractors, and the program, I mean the participation is actually complementary, and the contractors that participated will be given the CCD point, and also the whole program, the overall program, actually comprised 3 main components, which is to diagnose and also to understand the process analysis, and also do some intervention to uplift the productivity for the contractors. So this is actually like mentoring and one-to-one program between the government and also the contractors. All right. And then the next one is on the construction and built environment productivity nexus implementation strategy, with the objective to focus on the strategic implementation activities in line with the establishment of the nexus for the construction sector. This is actually a study that is still ongoing, and then the next program is actually on the construction and built environment technology digital solution directory, which is actually headed by the MPC to combine all the information, all the needed information on the various construction technologies and also service provided, and it serves like a directory, like a yellow pages, but we will try to actually move on to making it from directory to a marketplace. All right, just like Shopee, Okay, and then beside that, we do have the RTCPE, which is a plan or a roadmap towards the construction productivity excellence plan, and from there we have actually initiated a study somewhere in 2021, and then it has actually pointed 5 actions that need to be taken with certain mechanism. So just share with you briefly under the measure the 5 action is measure, monitor, analyze, aware, and also initiate. So under the cluster of measuring is actually to measure the performance of building construction projects by using the overall productivity measuring tools, which has been also developed and also established by CIDB through CREAM. Under the CIS 30, and also to actually make it in line with the integrated scoring system like Chassis, we have QLASIC, MyCREST, and etc. And then we string down a bit to see the productivity at the trade level. Okay, so this is also in terms of a measuring tool. And then right after that, we do monitoring the performance of the building construction project through a self-assessment system. And then from there, we get the data and we do the impact study. And then from the impact study, I think we do it concurrently with creating awareness on the importance of the productivity excellence in the industry through seminar, talks, webinar like today, and workshop and also roadshows. And then right after that, we do from the analysis, from the feedbacks from the industry, we can produce new policies and also provide incentive as initiative to promote better productivity in this construction industry. So this is the PMT, and what is actually PMT? PMT is a tool to measure the performance of productivity of building construction project in Malaysia that considers the productivity performance at construction sites and also construction project. So the basic calculation for this productivity performance under the PMT, we call it macro at the overall level, is actually the total GFA over the total man days. All right, so we have done some case analysis somewhere in 2020, and 56 building construction project has been used to actually has been piloted to test whether the PMT really works. And from there, we came out with the CIS 30, which is the productivity measurement of building construction projects based on the PMT has been developed. And then for last year and also this year, we are trying to actually give recommendation to the government to make it mandatory for all government projects. All right. And when we talk about the micro, which is just like I said previously, we are looking at the trade level, and this one give focus on the IBS components, whereby the calculation is actually involving the output and input, the total man hour use for each components. And here a trade is a term used to describe the craftsmanship, and is also describe the work that can be assigned to self-contained area, for example, the bricklayers, the carpenters, the plasterers, in handling each of the component that is stated in each projects. All right. And under the C 4.0, some of the initiative that has been done, like focusing on the IBS, we do have established the IBS Center, which is actually located in Jalan Chang Sao Lin, and we display a lot of information there, and we do have our subsidiaries that taking care of the IBS ecosystem. So if you have any problem regarding this IBS, I would like to actually invite all of you to go to the IBS center, which is located in Jalan Chang Sao Lin. And then we have actually successfully made the IBS to be mandatory for private project exceeding 50,000 million with 50,000 square meter. And then this year we are actually we are still pushing the government to standardize the IBS scoring instead of 50 for the private sector, to follow the best example from the government sector, which is the 70, to meet the 70 score. And then for tools, we have actually developed the QLASIC and also SHASIC tools. And with BEAM, we have established the MyBeam Center, which is located in Sameputra Tower, and it is open for the public to actually explore and use all the facilities in the BEAM Center. And now we are spearheading the submission of eBeam for building approval through the OSC 3 Plus online. And we move on to the research and development, which is always hid by CREAM, doing all the research that has been voiced out by the industry on any issues, any trends or development in the construction industry. And when we talk about sustainability, we talk about the tools that has been developed by CIDB, which is the MyCrest for building, and also the infrastructure for infrastructure. And for now, under the mechanization, we do not have yet any initiative under this, but we are still working with the industry players to actually identify maybe the advanced mechanism that can be introduced in the construction sector continuously. Yeah. All right. This is the end of my presentation. So the way forward here is that we at CIDB commits to ensure the quality of the construction, and of course under our program to uplift the productivity in the construction industry and encourage innovation. Also, the main thing here is actually strengthening digitalization. With these four things that we have commit, we hope that we aim to see a change in productivity for the construction sector within the future years. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much to Technology Sharing for your presentation. A lot of interesting data shared, and it's really good to hear that the construction GDP has increased quite a lot, and this is mainly due to productivity. So I know that CIDB and CREAM are really putting so many efforts to bridge the gap between construction sector and other sector, which I believe that our next speaker will share some of those efforts with us today. So let me introduce our next speaker, Puan Myra Zura Muhammad Zain. She is a manager at the Center for Advanced Construction Technology and Innovation, CACTI, CREAM. CREAM is a CREAM Research Institute established under the CIDB Malaysia, which she joined in August 2006. Right. She started her career in a consulting firm as a structural designer at the Dynamic Forum, Sdn Bhd. She started her journey as a researcher at FREAM in 2002 under the unit of timber engineering. She holds a bachelor in civil engineering from the University Science Malaysia USM, and she gained her master degree in structural and civil engineering also from USM. She is also a member of the Board of Engineers Malaysia, BEM, and appointed as one of the editorial advisory boards for the Malaysian Construction Research Journal, MCRJ. Her research interests are affordable housing, structural, advanced material, environment, and sustainability. She has published various technical books, guidelines, technical papers, reports, journals, proceedings, and articles. Previously, she was part of the technical committee in various developing industry standards such as CIS 30 2021, productivity measurement of building construction projects, as mentioned by our previous speaker. Also CIS 26 2019, Standard Perumahan Kebangsaan, Dasar Perumahan Mampu Milik, DRMM, and also the editor in guidelines for volumetric module house manufacturing design and construction for Malaysia. She also developed standards for temporary construction site workers' amenities and accommodation, MS 2593 2015, In addition, she and her team developed IBS catalog for precast concrete building system for construction industry players as a reference for the design, detailing, and manufacturing of the IBS component. Currently, she is pursuing her PhD at University Kebangsaan Malaysia, UKM, under Institute for Environment and Development. So without further ado, I'll pass along the mic to you, Puan Maria.
Thank you, Puan Intan. Thank you for the long brief about myself. Okay, today I would like to present about the setting the path towards construction productivity excellence, which is what I give on part of the RTCPE. So let me share first. Yeah. Nampak tak?
Yep, you can see your slide.
Betul.
Yep.
Hmm.
Nampak tadi your slide?
Ya, sekejap.
Mm-mm.
Right. Another one. Buka sounds. Sekejap.
Alright.
Nampak?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Okay now, right?
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay now. But
Okay.
maybe we can make it as a presenter view.
Sorry.
Mm.
Because I'm using a double.
I see, I see. It's okay, just take your time. Mm. So before that, our participant, if you guys have questions, you can write them in the chat box. Okay, after her presentation, the second presentation, we can have a Q&A session. Okay. Okay, Pamara, now your slide is okay.
Okay.
Yep. Mhm.
All right. Okay. I will
Alright.
start my presentation. Before that, thank you, Puan Shirin, give the glance of the road towards construction productivity excellence, which is I will explain in detail what is the road towards construction productivity excellence, which is RTCPE. This is one of the path or setting on the towards construction productivity excellence for the construction our construction industry. So is it moving? No.
No. Okay. Alright. Sorry, you're on mute, your mic.
Okay.
Okay.
This is what we're trying to achieve is productivity is the key to success on the project and also on the our organization, also for our satisfy of our customer and our client and our owner of the buildings or the industry project, construction project, and also for the construction industry per se. And what is the RTCP all about? So this is what we call the RTCPE, is a road toward construction productivity excellence. This is an excellent plan that most we know that construction industry is one of vital industry, and this is to benefit the whole world. Actually, it's not only the construction industry per se, but it's the whole world. And also this plan for to guide the industry to be on the right track towards the productivity excellence. And also RTCPE is for the boost construction productivity, to drive the productivity in our industry towards the excellent by fully adopting or and adapting the productive improving technology in building construction projects. And we are move forward actually for the RTCPE in the I can say that this is the cluster 1 when we are focusing on the building itself, but we are planning that this RTCPE we are moving forward to have in the infrastructure in the future. And in the RTCPE, we have 5 actions and 13 mechanisms that what Wan Shirin give a glance is a measure, monitor, analyze, aware, is awareness, and what is the initiative of the RTCP, and also have a 13 mechanism. I will explain it time to time after this. And this RTCP is a 6 years proposal plan and 5 years monitoring performance, which is CRIM and CIDB has mapped up a 6 years proposal in the 2019 until 2025, which is this map up is for the planning itself. And then we have another plan, which is a monitoring performance on RTCPE between the 2026 until 2030. Okay, this is because after we develop the road towards construction productivity excellence, the construction productivity excellence need to be monitor the performance, what the performance of our construction industry on part of the productivity. Okay. Okay, I know that what I'm list down is only the surface of importance of measuring productivity in construction industrial sector. Yeah? So what I'm list down is for the project owners is to know about the efficient use of resources. Projects can be controlled more effectively and can be completed faster, and also the overall cost saving. And for the project teams, this is an initiative for the productivity. We know that this productivity is not alone move, it's a project move, it's a team move. So in the project teams, the productivity can assist in setting targets, the plan, the cost control, and set the benchmark and evaluate the performance of each team and also your team itself. And also to assist to make a more cost-effective investment in the technology-based method and strategies to support the productivity and efficiency, and also to enable to monitor activities and provide targets to achieve continuous achievement in productivity level. And what Puan Shirin said, that she focusing on the construction industry in per se, in overall for the government, and also what the initiative on part of the productivity. And This is to support the monitor the productivity performance of the industry and provide the input and comparison data directly with other sectors and other countries, and set benchmarks and targets to achieve continuous improvement and increase industry productivity. We know that before the COVID that we per se that construction industry is not a essential, yeah. But when the COVID hit our world, that the construction industry more, and this is the very crucial and very essential economic performance because you know about the when the COVID hit and we need to have a development of a construction industry. So then this is a major part that construction industry need to have focus on the productivity. Okay. So this is what the timeline of the road towards construction productivity excellence. We started and embarking in the phase 1 in 2019. We look into the overall productivity measuring tool in the macro side, which is from the design until the construction and finishing. And phase 2 is to have a case analysis. We have almost more than 100, but we are screening into the 19. And lastly, we have a solid data on the 56 data. Then after that, when we confident that overall productivity measurement tool is one of the reference, can we say that reference to use by the industry. So we develop CIS 30 in 2021, which is this is initiative by CIDB to look and to have a productivity excellent for construction industry, you see. And after that, along the way, we are also embarked with integrated scoring system under the RTCPE program, which is an integrated scoring system, is not a new scoring system. Like Puan Shireen said, that this is not a new scoring system, but this is an integrated scoring system in one place, which is including the MyCREST, including the QLASIC, including the SHASHIC, and many more, and CQSM also. So in the plan also, we are develop the trade level productivity measuring tool, which is name is TLBMT, in the micro side, which is now we are in the phase 3. We glad that and promoting of the trade level productivity. This time we are conducting the verification and also the data input from all the industry to know and to have an analysis on the trade level productivity on each project. So we are welcome all of you to embark and joining ours in trade level productivity measuring tool program for this coming phase. And also after that, after we are doing the data analysis and putting all the data in place, and we are confident on that, then we will develop the CIS, the new CIS, to get a guide to all of industry. So the trade level productivity, we are doing a mirror methodology with the overall productivity measuring tool in my group. Okay, after that, we developed the assessment program after the CIS is put in place, and CIS on PMT in macro, and also the CIS TL PMT, and also integrated scoring system. this is what we say that this program is self-assessment system. So we will doing an assessment program. So to develop the self-assessment system, to have a guide and reference to all of each organization to embark with the productivity itself, which is we can say that you also can assess your team and your staff what the level of the productivity. And after that, also we are embarking on the assessor training module and also assessor course. And we need to have an impact study. We know about the to know about the impact of what we are developing. So the impact study is not doing after the CIS is developed, but we need to have a time to go for the impact study. The impact study will be incorporated with this impact assessment for RIA, and we need to have a minimum 2 years to get to know, and the industry is doing a reference of our CIS that we develop. And then the time to time, the program of the awareness the program of the excellent productivity on the construction. We have a productivity like today is a webinar, and also the seminar, talk, workshop, roadshow, and others. And lastly, the initiative. Initiate is an initiative that we can voice out, and also to develop the white papers to assist the construction industry to have any initiative or incentive to get from the government policy. Then we try to have that 2030, we are targeting that in the 2030, all the construction industry are using all those program in under RTCPE itself. Okay, so what is the road towards construction productivity excellence? Is a measure, monitor, analyze, awareness, and initiate. So what you are briefed before, that they have a 13 mechanism overall productivity measuring tool in macro, integrated scoring system, trade level productivity measuring tool in micro. The trade level productivity measuring tool is more essential for the trade itself. And we plan for the monitoring. This is to monitor the performance of building construction project through the assessment. Like I said that before, that is in one of initiative or mechanism is self-assessment system. We put for the self-assessment, it's not like auditor come and go, but it's like a self auditing yourself in organization itself. And also the assessor training module to assist the industry how to use the productivity measuring tools and how to know about the performance of each of the projects. And also the assessor training course for the trainer or for the assessor self train to get more clearer what to do for this assessment and performance monitoring all about. And like I say that the analysis to analyze the feedback from assessment to identify the area can be improved, and also the limitation have been. So time to time, this road towards productivity in each of the program, we have impact study and we evaluate, and also we have a limitation improvement, which one we need to improve more, in which stage we need to have improvement more. And also after that is awareness in action. Number 4 is raise awareness from the industry itself and importance of productivity excellence in the industry. So we are putting the planning on the seminar, talks, workshops, and roadshow all the ways until the maturity of construction productivity excellence. And this is the last one is initiate, which is to produce new policies and provide incentive, and also the initiative or is monetary or non-monetary to promote better productivity standards. And also we develop on the standards manual guidelines and also this time is a time we welcome all the industry, especially all the participants here, to get along with us in CREAM and also CIDB to have to give a recommendation. This is a time to give a recommendation what you need to have for the incentive and initiative to move forward for the excellence of productivity. Lastly, then we put forward for the policies and national documents. Okay. Next, I will touch in a little bit detail on the productivity measuring tool in macro. So this is a mechanism 1. The mechanism 1 is more like a micro analysis or micro part, which is the overall productivity measuring tool. CIDB and CREAM embark on the new research on 2019 to develop a tool to measure the productivity of building construction projects called the productivity measuring tool, PMT. One of these initiative, actually our moderator is one of our researchers before with this embarking of the research also. Thank you, Puan Tatiana. So this is macro is okay, this is macro is the assessment which is start from the beginning of the project. So in 2020, after we develop the tool, we conduct the case study on more than 100. Then we screen into the 19th, and lastly, we get a solid data for the 56 building construction project, which is if you all knows about the research, we are not just get the data, analyze. No, we get the data, we need to screen, and the confidence of this data, then we move forward for the next step. So this is to test the practicality and also the effectiveness of the tool. So in 2021, CIDB and CREAM have developed a construction industry standard, which is number 30 in the productivity measuring of the building construction project based on the PMT developed before. So I will share about the overall data after this. Puan Shireen have briefed that the productivity performance is an output versus input. This is a tool to measure the performance of productivity in building construction project that consider a productivity performance at construction site and also the construction project. So in CIS 13, we have class into 2, which is we can measure project base and also the site base. Then I'm pretty sure that why the grade and also the performance is not same in the project base and also the site base. This is because of the data that we have and also the input from the technical committee when we are developing of the CIS 30 itself. Okay. This is a data, I'm sharing a data what we have. From the case study, we get 60 IPS projects, 30 conventional projects, and this is a evidence based on the 56 projects. Okay, this is not a simple questionnaire. This is not a simple questionnaire, but this is a detail that the construction project itself to key in and share with us. Thank you very much if the participant one of our participate in our program before. So this is what we can move forward to use in the government or in the agenda negara. Okay, so based on the evidence base, we get a precast concrete system under IPS is 3 project: metal framing, a reusable formwork system, block work system, timber framing system, and also the innovative system. So this is what I say that why the project-based productivity performance is not same as a site-based productivity performance. Because when we look at the IBS project, the IBS project can hit on the project base is a 8.25 square feet per man day, but on the conventional project is 5.27 square feet per man day. And when we go detail on the site-based productivity performance, we can see that the performance is higher on the IBS and hit more to 19.54. Basically, this is a range that we get, and some project in the IBS more than 25 square feet per man day. So the site on the conventional project is a 6.96 square feet per man day. We can see that on the IBS project, the performance of the project itself in site base is more higher than the project-based productivity performance in the general one. Because when we look in the performance, productivity is not about the design, but it's go into the production, go into the installation, or in the site installation, and also until the construction and finishing. Okay, that's why we get this excellence of this IBS site-based productivity performance, because we not just in the site-based, but we are measure in the production base also. Okay. This is to support what I'm saying about the productivity on the IBS, because from the established TODES revealed that 70% of trades say prefabrication is one of the IBS method. Of course, at least moderately improve labor productivity. So this for the timeline, so because I'm talking about the road towards construction productivity excellence, so I will repeatedly give a timeline for all those program, which is in macro development. We are starting in 2019, and we have 90 projects. and we are establishing published CIS 30 in 2021. So after that, we have implementation of PMT on government project worth 10 million and above. So this last year, then on this year, we are putting our effort for the phase 1 developing of the PMT digital system. On the developing digital system, we are now focusing on government project by itself, but time to time after this, we are also planning that the PMT digital system can be used by the private project also. So in 2024, the phase 2 is a develop a digital self-assessment system for PMT and integrate with the My Project integration. If you are familiar with the government project, they have a one system that need to be monitored by government is in the My Project. So after we develop the PMT digital system, we have to and we will do the integration with the My Project to assess performance of the project government. So in 2025 is a training courses for the competent assessor under the government projects and monitoring towards the 2030 monitoring PMT in government projects. This planning will be mandatory for the government projects. So this time, I would like to share that you can bear in mind that this PMT will be one mandatory for the government project. So if you have projects with the government, you can bersiap sedia, prepare yourself on part of the overall productivity measuring tool. But don't worry, this is not some sort of the plug in sky or the NASA scientist output, but this is one the initiative to get the excellence of the productivity on our construction industry. Okay. So the second one is mechanism 2 is an integrated scoring system. What I say that this system is not a new system, but this is integrating the assessment system and tool system before this. Then we categorize it into the 5 is a productivity, safety and health, environment and quality is under SHAC. So under QLASIC, under SHASHIC is under, and also the MICRES, Infrasta is under the category 2. And category 3 is technology and innovation adoption. It's more like construction for emerging technology that you use or adopting and adapting in your project, and also the IBS, more to the IBS score, and this is a category that we are embarking with in the technology and innovation adoption. And also we the scoring system is tool to know about the project capability and also the project value optimization and what you achieve from the client and also the achieve for the international or the any awards that you are getting or you achieve along the way of what you embark or apply for this integrated scoring system like MCIEA and FIATC and others. So this is to ensure the productivity, the workmanship quality, and the adoption of construction technology such as IBS, and to ensure the excellence of all those I list before. So this integrated scoring, also the evidence-based staff assessment and only put a sampling for this. We are developed for the weightage of 1,000, but this is under draft and development. So this is not published yet, and not this is under the research part. So this integrated scoring system also assess about the project and assess about the organization and the team. So all that productivity is a team effort. So all the program is a team effort. So all the excellence will be team excellence. Okay. So next is a trade level productivity measuring tool. So in the mechanism 3, like Puan Shirin said, this is the trade level is a measure the essential traits or activity that have the impact of productivity in the building construction project, and also the performance at a production level and construction sites. Okay, a trade, the term is a craftsmanship, a workers, a skilled workers, and describe of the works that we assign. Okay, for example, is a bricklayers competence, but this is will be, I will show that this list of the trade in the we can refer on the ACTA 520 schedule 3 2017. So productivity performance, the general one that I said that before is the output divided by the input, same like the trade level productivity. Okay, on the construction project, building construction project, we need to assess, and we assess all the 6 IBS system: precast, blockwork system, reusable formwork system, metal framing, timber framing, innovative system, and also the prefabricated volumetric module. Because now we are towards that. In Singapore, we familiar with the PPVC, but in Malaysia, we only produce the prefabricated volumetric module. We are not pre-finished yet. PPVC is prefabricated, pre-finished volumetric. It is the construction. It's one of the method. Okay, but in the product prefabrication volumetric module is a carcass in under IBS. Okay, so this is what I say that about the 520 Act in 2017 amendment. So in the third schedule, section 2, subsection 32, 2, skilled construction workers. So in TLPMT, we need to assess all those trade level. Okay, this is a trade that we listed, is listed in the ACTA 520, which is we have a 25 listed: blaster, painter, air conditioning, drywall, and so on. And lastly is scaffolders. Yeah, this is a publish, and you can go to the IBS, go to the website in CIDP website and can download it for your reference. Okay. So on the mechanism 5, 6, and 4, 5, and 6 is more to the assessment. This is the performance assessment, and also the training and module, and also the courses. So in the mechanism 4, 5, and 6, the goal is to build the assessment capacity and capability to assess productivity performance of building construction projects using productivity measuring tool developed. So in first phase, productivity RTCPE, that I say that we are focusing on the building, but in the future, we build in the infrastructure. So we need to have a matured RTCPE first on the building, then after that we can go along the way to improvise the RTCPE to the infrastructure sector. Okay, the objective is provide the training to industry to measure the productivity on the building construction project using that the measuring tool that I said, that 3 measuring tools to conduct performance assessment on building construction projects using a measuring tools. So one is a training, one is a conduct performance assessment. So on the assessment is a self-assessment system. It's a self-assessment system is to deliver the digital system that can be assess performance on building construction project using the 3 measuring tool developed. The output is a digital self-assessment system is to assist dan memudahkanlah the industry itself and memudahkan juga the client to assess the performance of the project. And now, and mechanism 5 is assessor training module. The training module is more to the micro one is a TRPMT and macro one is PMT, integrated scoring system, using the CRS developed as a reference. So the output is the overall productivity measuring tool, training module, integrated scoring system training module, and lastly is a trade level productivity measuring tool training module. Sorry, you have a words micro is more to the TL, but PMT is a macro one. So next is mechanism 6 is to develop the training courses for the purpose of producing qualified and certified assessor. And the qualified, the output is a competent, qualified, and certified assessors. So after we develop all the measuring tool, we need to test the impact study. The impact study not only for the project, not only to the prior for the client, prior for the government project, prior to for the organization and also the team, but the impact study encompasses of the risk impact assessment. So this is to study the effectiveness and practicality of the measuring tools and improve the performance of building construction projects. And the objective is to conduct the impact study and also to measure, monitor, and improve the performance of the industry. So the impact study mechanism 7 deliverable is to conduct the impact study and also to analyze the effectiveness of the measuring tools have been developed before. If have some modification after the impact study, we need to have one improvement of the measuring tool itself. Okay, now we focus on the awareness program in mechanism 8, 9, and 10 on the engagement, seminar, and also workshop, and this program in webinar. Okay, on this awareness is to raise the awareness among the industry players on the importance of the measuring, monitoring, and improving the performance of building construction project to increase the productivity of construction industry. Okay, the objective is to promote, to spread awareness of the productivity, to organize the productivity related seminar and workshops, to organize the regular roadshows all over the Malaysia, to to introduce measuring tools, and also the engagement one-to-one or group to with CRIM and also with the CIB to have an awareness program more generally. So the seminar talks to organize to spread the awareness, to introduce the tool, and workshop to conduct the workshop on monitoring, measure and improving the performance of building construction project. And lastly is the training course to organize roadshow towards all the country, Malaysia country to introduce the measuring tools developed. Okay, so what is the initiative that we can do? We can assist industry. One is standard, manual and guidelines as a reference. And secondly is initiative or incentive, monetary or non-monetary, and also to develop the policy paper to for the purpose of encouraging the government to support the importance of best performance of building construction projects. Okay, the goal is to provide initiative to industry players to encourage technology adoption in the effort to improve productivity of construction industry. Right. So before I start with the digitalization and smart construction, the construction 4 is one of the elements that can support and push forward all the productivity excellence that we are planning for the construction industry. Actually, on part of road towards productivity excellence, we have helping or the advising from the MPC and also from the Singapore, one of our subject matter expert to get along and to advise us about the productivity. So we know that before this we are developing on the construction 4.0, then all the digitalization and smart construction in the construction 4 can push our productivity excellence more effective. Okay. Under the emerging technology cluster, we have 3 cluster. One is simulation and modeling under BIM. Second cluster is digitalization and visualization. Is 6 component. Is AR, VR, cloud, and real-time collaboration, artificial intelligence, blockchain, IoT, and also the big data and predictive analysis. And cluster number 3 is a smart construction, more to the 3D scanning and photo geometry, autonomous construction, 3D printing, and additive manufacturing, prefabrication and modular construction, and advanced building materials. The IBS under the prefabrication and modular construction. Okay. Okay. When you look about the construction supply chain, they have a construction project life cycle, which is a strategic definition. We took this is from the construction 4 strategic planning, strategic plan 2021 until 2025. What you can see is a supply chain and project life cycle. Who's the actors in vertical integration, and also the project life cycle in a horizontal integration. So in actors and also the life cycle, we put what is the technology cluster can move forward, can be used in the life cycle or supply chain. So you can see that these emerging technologies application can be along the supply chain, which is a beam from the conceptual until the operation and maintenance. AR and VR is from the conceptual and planning design, but in the procurement it's not use that tools and that technology, but in manufacturing and the construction and also handover and use building use using back AR and VR, and cloud real-time collaboration, AI and blockchain can be integrate from the conceptual until the operation and so on, what you are seeing just now. This is from the cluster simulation and modeling, digitalization and visualization, and also the smart construction. So this map up, or these figures to map up on the construction for emerging technology in the supply chain of construction project. Okay. So before I last my presentation, I would share that one of the video on the can be boost the productivity and to merge into the emerging technology. Okay. Okay. So don't worry. This video is a public domain, and all of you can actually download it for your friends. Sorry. Okay. Last one is MPC Construction and Built Environment Productivity Nexus. What the brief of the glance of this from the Puan Shirin, they have 4 initiative by MPC, which is I need to give you some brief that they are actually now is embarking and doing the program. So for the productivity setup program for contractors. Now they are embarking with the construction industry, all of the contractors, to have to know what the program and what the digital initiative, digital part that the contractors SME needs, so they can give some incentive for that. So please go with the MPC and give your opinion and give what you want from the government to support on the part of digital to boost the productivity of your project and of your organization, especially on the SME. So this is a thank you. So that's my presentation. Thank you all of you, and you can contact me towards the maria@cream.my. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Maria, for your presentation. We at CIDB and CREAM really hope that the 5 actions and 13 mechanism in the RTCPE can help boost the productivity of the construction sector. Okay, now I would like to call back Technology Shireen to join Maria and myself for the Q&A session. All right. For the participant, if you guys have questions, you can drop them in your chat box. I believe there were 2 questions, but Technology Shireen has already answered the questions, right? Okay, so while waiting for questions from the audience, I have some questions to ask the speakers today. So I'd like to start with Technology Shireen. I guess in your presentation, you did mention that measuring productivity has a big impact to the construction sector. So I wanted to know what are the ways to increase productivity in construction besides measuring productivity.
All right. Thank you, Intan. There's
Mm.
actually a few ways to improve productivity in the construction, and one of the ways is actually to invest in automation. And as you know, that automation can be very costly in some cases, but it is actually well worth to invest, as if you look into a larger scale of projects. So it actually helps people running business in the cost effective and in the more productive ways by using automation or any tools that can actually assist to help to monitor the costing, the quality, and so on. So I think by doing so, you can actually save more money and still do good work in a very effective ways. So I think it's a very good investment.
Yeah, that's true. I guess people are afraid of the technologies because they see
Yes.
it as a big investment, right? But in the long run, it will help your productivity and also the construction industry productivity, right? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Shireen. Question for Puan Maria.
Yeah.
One of the mechanisms in the RTCP is to develop the trade level productivity, PMT, right?
Yep.
So how do you think that the development of the trade level or TL PMT can help increase the productivity of construction in Malaysia?
Okay, development of the TLPMT is a focusing of the productivity each trait that I said that before, that each trait is more likely on the skill and craftsman traits, okay, that measure is in overall OCE, if you all familiar with OECD, so the output versus input. The measurement is the output per unit of input. So the different way TLPMT and also the others productivity is a vary from the level of the detail. For example, the construction productivity actually can be measured by the output of the per person hour that we are now doing using that measuring tool, and also the output per machine hours, more like in the production part, and output per square meters, and also we are using that productivity in the productivity measuring tool, and the MPC are more likely on the output per unit of labor cost. But in the CIDP and also CREAM, we are focusing on the labor incentivity per input only. Okay. And another one is a production per unit of capital cost. So in the TLPMT itself, focus on output, since it's measure how if efficiently labor input involved during the process of the construction project itself. So the labor input is defined as a total hours work of the person engaged during the trade is done. Okay, is it
Oh,
okay?
yeah, so I guess the
As a
TLPMT
trade.
has oh yeah, I guess the TLPMT has their own definition for
Yeah,
productivity, right?
yes,
Total hours work of
yeah,
all person engaged
yeah.
during the trade. Okay, all right, thank you. And speaking of TLPMT, right? In your presentation also there's another mechanism, overall productivity measuring tool, overall PMT or macro level, right? So will one measuring tool replace the other, or is it a separate tools that we need to use?
That is a separate tool actually. One sorry. One is the overall productivity is from the design until the construction and finishing, and another one is a trade level. So this is a separate tool. But the two of the tools each during the production, it's more likely different on part of the trade and part of the overall of the project. So that is the overall has been developed in CIS 30. So all of you can be do some searching or and also embark or refer for the CIS 13, and also the which is CIS 18 also incomprised with the TLPMT. Okay.
Oh, okay. So the industry can use either of the PMTs
Yeah.
to measure their productivity, right? Okay.
Yes, but in
All
the
right.
TLPMT is not yet developed the CIS,
Oh, I see.
because we are now is embarking of the verification and data, more data to have a more confident of the TLPMT itself.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that info. We do have one question from the participant from NAR. Salam, could you please elaborate on the accuracy and reliability of the data collected for the case studies? I guess this is referring to Palmera's presentation, right? Yeah, for your overall productivity.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the accuracy and reliability. We are doing some. We embark with the industry directly from the project itself. We managed to have a data. So after that, we screen that data is more perfect, towards the perfect or more perfect. So after that, we call them another one round to have the checking or the sampling. Is it the data that you have, you give to us is the right data, or just you put the numbers on that. So the checking all is done in more to the reliability of the data itself. Okay, the checking, the sampling, we do because we know that the data collected in case study, a lot of the because it's not only the one in the productivity, it's not only the one data. It's like it is more to the from the design until the construction and finishing. So along the way, design, production, the installation itself, and also construction and finishing, we need to have the data and we need to check the reliability of the data. Okay.
Okay, all right, thank you. Another question from the audience, Asri. I don't know if this is not Asri, but I was made to understand that CREAM is measuring trade level productivity for construction industry. Is this measuring tool ready to use?
Yes. Oh, sorry. The trade level productivity
trade
is
level.
under development.
Mm.
Actually now we are doing a verification and also establishment of the pengukuhan data. We call that pengukuhan data. We need to have a more data. We are engaging the 4 CIDB negeri. Is a CIDB negeri is a Bersasar, which is Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, Johor, and also Sarawak. So all those negeri we set with the SPT, Bahagian Teknologi and Innovation, we set the KPI or target to get the data. So like negeri Kuala Lumpur is and also the Selangor, we set on 35 data each, and also Johor is a 30, and lastly is a Sarawak. We set on the 10 data. So actually the data can be used, but we are not publishing yet because we need to counter and also to have some data pengukuhan to know that measuring tool is confidence tool and match it to use by our industry. So data is more important now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, to Technology Shireen, I have a question for you. Why is productivity important in construction?
Okay, this is actually a common question, yeah. Okay, you have seen a lot of changes happening in the industry over the years, but one thing still actually remain the same, which is the need of productivity. So I can actually conclude that there are few points. Yeah, why is it crucial to actually measure productivity in the construction? First thing we talk about safety. Yeah, and then the most important reason for it is actually this the more productive you are means the safer you are likely to be. Okay, so construction workers can easily get injured, yeah, at a rate of 5 times higher than any other average workers in other industries. So there are actually many reasons for this high construction injury rate, but one of them, sadly to say, is a lack of productivity. So when workers are not productive, they tend to actually rush and make decisions that put or endanger themselves and put themselves at at higher risk lah. So besides that, besides safety, it is also for quality control, whereby the productivity actually plays a very important role when it comes to this quality control. The more productive your project team is, the better will they be, and their ability to respond quickly if there's any problems during the construction and they need to improve or doing over again or doing things over again because they did not actually turn out exactly as what planned during the previous phase of the project. So it is good to actually have an automated tools to actually help them to measure the quality and also measure the effectiveness of what they have actually planned for the project. And by doing so, they can actually increase their profit and because when you do things, you organize things in a correct way. So of course you can actually save time and also save money. So you can actually have a small people and can complete the same amount of work over the same amount of time, and you'll be able to actually for business entity, you'll be able to actually charge the customer more over the hour that you have taken to actually complete the job. So this will actually result in more profit and people, because they are actually paying less for the hour taken to complete the job. And then by using technology as a tool they can also actually help to improve the workflows, meaning everything is in clouds and so on. You don't have to actually wait for people to come to you and do reporting. You can get real-time reports and so on that will actually save time and improve workflows in case of any difficulties or any challenges that you face on site. People will actually get notice on the spot. You don't have to actually wait to respond to all those difficulties and so on. So I think that's why productivity in the construction sector is very important.
Okay, thank you. It's really interesting too, because even I personally, I think about when I think about productivity, I sometimes relate it to how complete you can, how fast, right, you can complete your building, but actually it's indirectly related to safety, quality, and many more aspects, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So another question from the participant, Toh Chuan Hao. This is for referring to Palmaria's slide. What is the difference between project-based and site-based productivity rate?
Okay, the project base is good from the design, production, installation, logistic and installation, and also construction and finishing. But in a project base, in the site base is installation, construction and finishing. This is a different of the the difference of the two project base and also the site base.
So project-based is from the
In
beginning until
overall,
the end of the
yes.
yeah. And site-based is just on site, right?
Site,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, all right, that's clear. Another question from Masri. What is the level of adoption of machinery and equipment to increase productivity by Malaysian contractors, and how the big contractors can help the small contractors to adopt use of machinery and construction? I guess maybe that Shireen and even Pamaria can answer this question.
Maybe Pamara, you want to answer the question?
Sorry, what?
The level of adoption, as I presented previously, is actually less than 30%. So I think, what's the second question?
The second question is how the big contractors can help the small contractors to adopt using machinery in construction.
Okay, maybe from JV initiatives, perhaps, or actually put it in terms of contract between the main con, if you are a big main con, and you are doing contracts with a small contractor,
Yeah.
you have to actually incorporate certain terms inside the contract to enable the technology at that part. So I think from there, the environment will change, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I also agree on that. It's more like a contract tender need to be improvised on, not using directly from the conventional, but improvised by project to project basis.
Mhm. Okay, all right. All right, another question from NAR. Sorry. Is there any international benchmarking in the development of the productivity assessment tool? Which country is being benchmarked?
Okay. We are benchmarking on directly from the previous country. One is Hong Kong, and also from our neighbor is from Singapore, and South Africa, South Korea, but and also UK. But we, when we are doing a desktop study, we know that the effective or the um, productivity assessment tool more used in Singapore. So under South Korea or others, is more like much on the green and also initiative on the productivity. So the directly on the productivity assessment tool is more from the Singapore.
Okay, sorry, Singapore.
And
Okay.
also one of the our SMEs is from the Singaporean, which is advising us about the development of productivity assessment tool for the Malaysian context.
I see. Okay, all right, thank you. Another question from Asri. He wants to know whether CIS 30 productivity measuring tool developed by CIDB is being used by consultants or clients. And if contractor wants to use this PMT, how can CIDB assist?
Okay.
Sounds
Actually, okay. Actually, the PMT is more likely focusing on the contractors. So on part of developing of the CIS 30, yes, we are compressing of on the consultant. We need to have the client input and also the owner inputs and others association inputs. But this PMT CIS 30 is directly for contractors to use the PMT. Yeah.
So second question is actually asking how can CIDB
Oh,
actually
okay.
help. Yeah. So I think contractors who actually interested to use the CIS 30, since it is still new, I think we welcome the contractor to actually come to us and we have a chit chat so that we can actually give mentoring
Yeah.
on how they actually apply this CIS 30 to their projects.
Yep.
Okay.
Since can I add once?
Yeah,
Since
sure.
the CIS 30, now we are planning to have a digital self-assessment. So after the digital self-assessment completed, I would say that it's more like easier for the contractors to have the digital assessment, self-assessment on their own place. So by the way, before that, yes, like Puan Shirin said, we welcome all of you to come to get an engagement directly from us.
Okay, all right, thank you. Now there's this webinar, right? Like we're focusing on promoting productivity, but there are problems that I guess the other problem why projects are late is basically because of the cost issue and then waiting for approvals and so on. So how is this reflected in the tools that CIDB is promoting to improve productivity?
Okay.
Maybe the question for Tertiary, yeah.
When you talk about making things faster, so of course, I think the hindrance will actually go to the approval process. Yeah. So one of the thing or one of the initiative that CIDB has taken is actually to push the government to actually adopt the technology like BEAM for their building approval submission, for example. So this is one of, I think, our biggest initiative, which the tool is already there. It's just now it's time to actually push the government to adopt it so that it will be beneficial to the industry players. But then we also notice that the BEAM, the awareness on BEAM to the stakeholders is still quite at a very low level, you know. So by doing that, we study which type of project which suitable to be actually accepted using this team platform. So now, let's say if we can actually, I think we have actually done one engagement with Perbadanan Putrajaya, which they have actually give us the green light to actually use this e-beam submission through their online portal to actually test out the effectiveness and how that the industry player actually feedback from this kind of technological advancement in terms of submitting to actually shorten the approval process. So using this platform, for example, it can actually help to do some auto checker. You don't need any human. I think not to say that you don't need human. You still need human to actually verify it. It's just that when it is like when you submit the drawings and the system will automatically check, then you actually save one phase of checking. Alright. So this is kind of the initiative that CIDB actually pressing the or giving the advice to the government, to the state government and to the federal government to actually adopt more automation, more technological advances in our own processes.
Okay. Our next question is actually related to your answer, Shireen. It's from Cik Nurul Huda. Okay, in her experience, right, many people in our industry and among our stakeholders still have a lack of solid foundational knowledge of productivity and construction 4.0. So does CIDB have any initiatives planned or underway to address this problem?
Okay. Currently, we actually embarking on spreading the knowledge through webinars and also seminars to create or also raise awareness over the C 4.0 and so on. And we are actually looking at, a roadmap for each technology because we have actually clustered all the phases of technology according to type of technology which is available in Malaysia. So for this short-term period, we noticed that IBS and also BEAM would, I think, carries a lot of weightage, the level of understanding, the comprehension level, and also the adoption level is quite impressive. So CIDB is putting more effort towards that. And then beside that, we also do certain like macam BEAM roadmap to actually help to encourage and also create awareness indirectly to the stakeholders. And we are also like planning to actually put in a lot of like lower level skill trainings, for the players to actually join, and then we have actually put our aim or certain target to achieve in the next year and also over the 2025, to actually have a pool of skilled workers in technology aspect. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. I want to know whether the PMT that both of you mentioned, the overall and also TLPMT, will someday be mandatory in our country.
Oh. Okay, can I answer first? All right. The mandatory in the future, yes, because we are embarking a lot of effort for the research and also development of the standard for reference. And from now, on the overall PMT is a macro, we are targeted to be mandatory in starting 2025. That I said that before. That is, we try or we are encouraging to integrate with the My Project platform, which is starting with the government projects. So as for the TLPMT, we are targeting to first develop of the CIS by next year, and will still take time to be established. I say that before. Now it's time for the data and verification of data to have a confidence of data before we are developing of CIS. Therefore, the targeted for this TLPMT is will be mandatory on the 2030 for both combination macro and also TLPMT.
Okay, so we're expecting it to be mandatory in 2030. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you. There's another question from Asri. Mandatory testing of materials sometimes delaying the process of construction activities. How these testing requirements of materials could be speed up to increase productivity in construction? Who wants to answer the question?
Maria, you want to answer?
Okay, the mandatory testing of materials sometimes delaying the process. I could say yes, and I could say no, because the material should be, we have a get from the quality. So that is one of the part. Before we know that we need to have or to use in a project, we need to test it before. Then that is, I said yes or no, because when you are come with the testing material before the test material is test and the supply is not in part of all the requirement is not in place, it could be the construction activity will be delayed. So the testing requirement is, yes, it must be due. It's mandatory. It's for the safety, it's for the quality of the material used in construction project. It's not main mudah lah, because it's bermain dengan the human, the safety and security of the human, and also the safety, quality and security of the building or infrastructure itself. Okay. So
Okay. Okay. All right. Tanishari, do you want to add?
Maybe I want to add a bit. So we notice we need to know actually what's the root cause of the delay. So we know that there are only a few centers that doing this testing. That might be the main cause of the delay. Okay, so as a government, I can see that we are looking at ways and how to actually equip this whole ecosystem to actually help to expedite the testing part, by doing more, I think putting more location based what you call labs and so on, adding more labs will actually help the industry. So we are trying our best to actually spreading the wings for this testing thing, you know.
And also
Yeah, yeah.
to assist the construction industry is not to faster the construction industry. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that
and yeah, speaking about expanding the labs, right? Like
yes.
I know like on the initiative of CIDB, our lab personally, the CREAM MKRM has also started their operation in Sabah
Yeah.
and Sarawak, which we hope that can expedite the testing of materials, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's the last question for the webinar. Thank you so much to your questions, and thank you to our two esteemed speakers for very fruitful discussions. All right. And for your information, we will share the presentation slides with all of you together with the certificates via email. So again, thank you so much to Technology Sharing, Ghazali, and also Pamaria, Zura, Muhammad Zain for spending your morning and sharing your knowledge with the participants today. So before we leave, let's have a quick photo session for memory keeping. So I would really appreciate it if everyone can turn on your camera. And no, wait, I need to allow first. All right, I have allowed everyone to open your camera. So we have 130 participants this morning. Yeah,
Thank you
so
for
quite a
joining us.
turnout.
Overwhelming.
Yeah. Okay. Let's wait for everyone to turn on their cameras.
So I guess today we have actually enlightened more than 100 stakeholders.
Yeah, hopefully. Okay. All right. Everyone just keep smiling, okay? Because there's so many of you. So I need to take everyone in. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Right. Another one. 1, 2, 3. All right. Smile. All right, last one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to the participant for spending your Thursday morning with us. Before we end the webinar, I have some sharing to do. Okay, so on this slide, can you guys see my slide? All right, CREAM are organizing 3 upcoming events. I mean, for the CREAM webinar series, there's 2 sessions. So this is the first session. We have another session next Tuesday. So there's still time for you guys to register. For those who haven't, you guys can scan the QR code on your screen and register for next session, where we're gonna have industry players to share how technology and innovation can actually help to increase their productivity in their construction projects. Okay, so that's a very interesting webinar as well. So the registration will be closed at 5 p.m. today. So hurry up and register your seat. And then we're also gonna have another 2 seminars, physical seminars in May, as shown on your screen right now. So one is on Kursus Pembinaan Berdaya Tahan 2023, and another one is on Dig It All Forum series, which you can learn more about them on our website at www.cream.my. So stay tuned, follow our media social and our website to learn more about our upcoming events. Okay, we hope to see you guys again in our other events. All right. So in the meantime, have a good day, everyone. And is it too early to say Selamat Hari Raya? I don't know. But yeah, have a good day. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Bye.
Bye.